We are presenting today a hairline variation. About 90% of men have hairlines where the hair is principally angled forward. This gentleman has a slight variation, and what you're looking at over on this side here on the left is that the hair angles veer slightly to the left all the way across. And what we've done is to simulate that hairline and match every angle of his hair so that the hair will grow naturally and match the way that his hairline grows. What you're looking now is the central hairline. What you're seeing is the fact that this is a very tight interlock pattern, even though he has existing hairs there, but at the same time not compromising or hurting any of the existing hairs. I didn't cut through any of the hairs there during these site creations, so that even if he did lose hair in this area, he will still have a very strong result based on the tightly interlocked sites. The final thing I want you to notice is the fact that there is a slight angulation to the left that matches the way that the hair grows. It's hard to see now that the hair is slicked back and a bit wet, but that is the way that the hairs grow, and the sides reflect that same angulation. What you're looking at here are the hair sites on the right side of the hair. As you see, usually it's only the lateral centimeter right before it transitions to the temporal hair-bearing area that you can see the gentle curvature. But you're seeing that actually about a third of the hairline on the right is already curving to the right, because that's the way his natural hairs are sloping and angled. So when I created these sites, I basically simulated and recreated all the hairlines sites to mimic his natural hair-bearing tissue already. So this is just showing you a variation in a normal male pattern hairline. We are now at the conclusion of this operation. I think you can see here how absolutely packed in this is, and some reinforcement along the hairline, and just going a little bit forward with finer grafts as well. You can see the angles of the grafts. I hope you can see this. It's quite detailed. I'm using a macro lens to show this, but sometimes it's hard to see through all the little grafts. You can see all the grafts are meticulously executed where there's a nice sweeping downward pattern, and as I was mentioning earlier, there's a nice curvature along the entire hairline that really mimics the way his natural hairs grow. Again, it's hard for you to appreciate exactly what direction his hairs grow simply because they're slicked back and a bit wet, but this was done during the recipient site creation natively. In other words, the hair was not wet, it was dry, so that I could follow every single angle. And Amina has already completed all the the graft placements, and they're all also been just really tightly packed in and atraumatically inserted, that is without trauma, and gently handled. Amina's mentioned a good point. In a lot of places, they tend to shave the hairline, especially when the hair is in the way. We really choose not to do that for many reasons. One is obviously the fact that you've got to walk around with a shaved head, which I think is unacceptable. But beyond that, as I was telling you, the beauty of this video is not this, we just created sites, but the sites actually mimic the natural hair pattern. So I actually use those hairs as a guide to create my sites that mimic the natural hair direction. But even further than that, if I shave all the head, I can't even see where their actual hairs are. I'm going to damage the existing hairs. As you can see here, packing in all these sites, I've actually not even touched his existing hair. And his hair is going to camouflage these sites very well, but in addition to that, they're really just untouched, and that's really important in terms of getting a great result. One final point is the fact that the hairs, a lot of these are white hairs, and those are very hard to dissect and also very hard to place, but they've been done very elegantly and gently handled so that there is no trauma during the insertion, and the grafts are very well executed and placed by Amina here. And we're just showing you the right side again, just to point out the reason we're showing this is that the site angles are placed closer to the left, and then they begin to gently splay to the right with the eddies and the little natural coastline effect along the hairline. And all that is just shown to you to really have you understand the quality of work we do very close up. And you can see at the end of this procedure, there really is no trauma at all to the scalp. It looks just completely untraumatized, and that's because of the gentle handling at every step of the procedure.